We are recording.
Episode 97. Episode 97.
97.
5/14 Monday, May 6th. We have a guest amongst us.
I wouldn't really call him a guest.
Describe yourself. not introduce yourself, but like not your appearance, but describe yourself. Like how would you describe you?
Honest and working on not being the hard ass in the room.
What?
Yeah.
What? What did he just say?
He's working on
You
not
think
being
you
the
are
hardest.
the hardest?
Not being.
You're trying to be harder, or
Yes,
you want to be
yes,
less hard?
Yes, I'm trying not to be a bitch.
Got it.
What?
In some cases.
When are you a bitch?
I wore green shorts.
What does that mean?
The green pants guy?
Oh God! Did you do that on purpose?
No, but as soon as we walked in, I was like, "Oh, the
is
shorts."
that your uniform?
Yes,
Green.
green.
The chick's like, you look too masculine.
Yeah, I bought a couple of these. She's like, "You don't get to have more than one pair of green pants. Pick one and send the other one
You're like,
back."
I'll show you. I'm buying $160 shorts.
I bought green shorts.
$160 shorts. You got a tractor?
Yeah,
Oh,
try.
showed up?
Was it
Yeah,
worth
probably
it?
showed
Was
up.
it everything?
Not everything showed up with it, though. Of course.
What
Well, why
didn't
would
show up? Your
One of the
backup
augers.
lights?
No, one of the augers.
Which auger didn't show up? The one
The
you
big
need?
one. No, the big one didn't show up. The tree one, but whatever.
How big
I
of
got
fucking trees are you putting in?
It's just a 24-inch.
A 24-inch auger.
Yeah.
Width is
You
24.
know that's like a $400 tree.
Yeah, but
Are you getting
I got it.
$400 trees?
probably.
I'm getting 99-cent trees. Lots of them.
I don't have that kind of time.
Dudes
I'm
are like-
I'm not one of those guys that. I'm not one of those guys that plants trees so my children will have shade.
That's
That's not me.
That's
I want to fucking.
That's
I
the
want
definition of selflessness.
I want the tree now. I want to be able to eat the fruit now.
Our trees went pretty damn quick. We got
Oh,
fruit
yeah,
off them like the next year, especially if you accidentally light them
I'm
on fire.
Yeah, as long as there's an accidental
That's the
fire.
key. You gotta have like a burning bush. Like Jesus, he was there, fucking shaking snakes and shit.
Mm-hmm.
You burn your trees down, they'll fucking make all kinds
Stress
of
your
You know how
trees.
the burning bush stuff came about?
How?
It was actually a mountain.
I thought it was from crabs.
Like the STD crabs?
Yes.
I mean, if you're fucking a bush, maybe. If the friction gets up high enough.
Merkins. Okay, tell me for real.
So, there's actually a mountain that's been documented in that area where they thought people were in the Bible walking around and living in that area, that it would get so hot and so dry that bushes would combust, just light up.
You want me to tell you what really happened?
Were you there?
Mm-mm.
Okay, so what do you think really happened?
No, this is what happened.
Okay, tell me.
This story has been around so long, this fictional story, that the aliens, when they heard it, went to that place, cracked open some bottles, and the broken glass actually reflected and lit the trees on fire in the future, but back in time.
So like a Game of Thrones thing. Like he knows what happened in the past and he knows what happens in the future, but he doesn't say anything. He just lives in the present and kind of lets it happen.
No, like a real alien thing. I don't know about Game of Thrones.
Okay.
You know what really happened?
What really happened?
This old man is wandering around in the desert
Yeah.
with a bunch of
A
people
flare.
who are fucking bitching and whining the whole fucking time. They start melting down
the
all
burning bushes was before that.
No, burning bush is where he came down with the tablets.
No.
Yeah, isn't that
No,
Moses?
the burning bush was Abraham?
Well, Moses got a burning bush too. That's where the
Yes.
tablet.
Oh, yes.
And they're all down there melting all their gold and shit,
Yeah.
turning into a calf so they can worship it. He's like, "Oh my God,
Why do you know
I
this?
can't take this anymore." So he
How do you
walked
not know
up.
this?
He walked up the
Basic
top of the
history.
hill as far as he could go, where nobody could see
Yeah,
him.
'cause he was
and then
just
he
fed
was
up.
like, "All right, where's my chisel?"
This was
man? I
the
need
equivalent of like going into your garage when you're sick of your woman. He was just sick of all
Yeah.
the people he was walking around. He was like, I need to get out of this. And
Sunday
he got a-
school? Is that how you know? Sunday
Yeah,
school?
yeah.
Sunday
12
school?
years of
No,
private school.
I never did any.
I was in the
formal-
closet. I was in the closet looking at little pussies when I was in
12
Sunday
I
school.
never did any formal religious.
12 years of... I've taken,
I was
except
never-
for 1 year, a religion class every single semester until high school.
I was never in trouble, but I wasn't like the star pupil. I'm sure they weren't. I'm
Right.
sure they weren't upset when I wasn't there. But looking back, I would like to take those classes now,
There's a...
like first, second, third.
there was
fifth
a...
grade
It was
ones.
like a college
Sunday
level.
school. You want to go to Sunday school?
It was a
after-
college
Yeah,
level.
but not with little kids. I just want them to come
Yeah.
and give
Why
me a
not? It'd
private
be like,
class. Because
You
No.
could sit in the little
He
desk.
wants to take like an advanced... It's So there's this like college level theology class, and it was this teacher was saying, you know what I mean, like the big like the day one, you know, Genesis chapter 1, there was day and there was light, and then this student who was very devout in his faith but applied a lot of science to his faith came up and said, I can walk through, you give me the miracle and I'll give you the science behind it. And it was like, at first it was all dark, and then he made day and night, and then he was like, oh, that's the Big Bang, and then this, and evolution, and then he just walked through it. And then one of the cool things was they broke down I'm going to forget the numbers, man, but like the plagues, was it 7 plagues?
Yeah, I believe 7 plagues.
7 plagues. Well, they've documented them happening recently. Mm-hmm. Recent history, last couple hundred years.
Locust.
Yeah. So like, there's this mountain that it rains super hard and it floods this river with like red dirt, makes the river thick, looks like blood, same color as blood. So what happens when the river floods? All the fish die, all the fish come out, the locusts come, the frogs come. When there's too much locust, it kills the cows and this, that. And I mean, like, they broke it down how it all happened scientifically, and then the other big thing about that was they think there's a mistranslation from Red Sea to the Reed Sea.
Dead Sea.
The Reed Sea. Oh, was it the Dead Sea that he split? Whatever the sea that he split. Yeah,
that's the next one. I was going to ask you how they explain that.
So the mistranslation is the Reed Sea, and it was a lot shallower. And they've documented this. These crazy winds come in, and it pushes all the water basically out of the way. So my thought is, and I'm not trying to get religious. I mean, we're kind of talking history here. Is where God, whatever you believe, comes in, is the timing. The timing of Moses standing in the river and slamming his staff down into water, and then the dirt comes in and becomes right. You know what I mean? Like, just the timing of everything. I think, and in my life, that's how I've always.
Well, as the stories get told, they become better.
Correct. But they've brought some fact to the light of these possibly happened. Well, what's the timing like, and when did it actually happen? And
so, did you just mow 17 acres?
No, I'm not done.
I mean, how much?
I probably got like 4 or 5 acres to do.
How many tanks did you go through?
Just one.
Are you getting a fuel cell put on your property?
You know what? I went and filled up my 5-gallon gas cans, took them out there.
Holy shit!
Filled it up.
Yeah, I've done that.
Filled it up, and then I was like, I've got to buy I got to buy a tank. This is ridiculous.
How big is the tank in the?
It's only 25 gallons.
What are you gonna get? You want elevated, or you want like an electric one? Or
I'll get an elevated one, probably. I don't know. Whatever I come across.
Fill it? Is there a service that comes out and fills it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Any of your co-ops will fill them.
Okay. What is a co-op?
It's a conglomerate of all. It's a conglomeration of all the farmers in the area.
Okay.
To create this business.
Okay.
That sells products to farmers.
Okay.
That they're supposed to be able to get it cheaper from them than anywhere else because they buy in bulk.
Costco used to be a company called Price Club, and that was a co-op. REI is a co-op. Costco, I believe.
I always hear farming and
buying
co-op
power.
together.
Yeah.
It's like so. It's
but
anybody can go there.
Right, but I just never knew. Like
the problem is,
it's not always the best stuff, and it's not always the cheapest.
And it's not always the cheapest. Okay. But they've turned. It went from farmers trying to create buying power in order to be able to get stuff cheaper.
Yeah.
To they are now corporations that are they're corporations. They don't give a shit about farmers.
And they vote on the board members. So
I'm sorry, Jack Garland.
It depends who the president is. How well the co-ops. Like our co-op right now is fucking head over heels better than it was.
So to me, I always thought co-ops was like a tractor supply.
No,
it kind of
but like that, like if you say AutoZone, I know what an AutoZone is.
Those kind of materials.
Okay,
a Tractor Supply is way more shit.
Okay, so it's
Tractor Supply. The difference would be, Tractor Supply board of directors are all Tractor Supply board of directors. The co-op down here has real farmers, so local farmers are on the board of director, and they're making decisions based off the local area.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. So we'll delve into this right here. Our Christ. Angels and Demons 503, a mark the Illuminati would scribble around to show reference to Galileo, third text.
That's it. That's
the
exactly
closest,
it.
That's the closest fucking anybody's
Yeah,
gotten.
that's the closest
I'm
anybody's
trying to figure out
got.
what 503 is.
Oh, dude, I've seen some good ones. I'm
There's
like,
some good ones.
and a lot of them are like they actually mean things that are 503. Like
You know
some,
what we should
some
do?
shit I never thought of.
You know what we should do?
But it's its own animal.
I
Like,
love
we
this
don't
shit.
control 503. 503 controls you.
I love this stuff.
Yeah.
You know what we should do?
History and
Yeah.
angels and demons. And
We
stuff like
we should publish the top 5 guesses and then let them vote on which one it is.
that. Do we ever tell them?
No, you don't talk about it.
The thing is, it's out there. It is out there.
Yeah, I know.
They just have to, which amazes me because chicks like Liberty Chick
Yeah.
and Freedom Inc. They'll come in and they're like, "Do you remember on podcast episode 27 when you said blah blah blah?"
Yeah.
And he'll be like, "No, that was 45."
Yeah.
Like,
Him?
No, fucking
Oh, they do. Yeah.
husband and wife. Yeah. When are you going to talk Kips into opening a restaurant in Camden? A restaurant in Camden wouldn't work. Like you have to, for a restaurant to succeed in Camden, you have to have 3 things. You have to have 40-cent coffee, which they're still going to bitch about being too expensive. You have to have a buffet where you recycle all your food for several days. It has to be there, whether, like, you have to have a buffet, and you have to have fried catfish. Right?
Pretty much. Yeah, pretty much.
I've eaten at Kips's restaurant in Chicago.
Yeah.
Holy fuck.
We want Kips here.
Holy
I want to
fuck.
put a taco truck or like a mobile diner, like an
Yeah.
old time diner,
Yeah,
outside,
Yeah.
and then have guest people come in and man it, like do a week here or a month here. Or
So
something.
it was me, Nate, and Christian, and Nate had a couple of his kids, and Christian had his little one there.
Who's Nate?
You know Nate Kessler. You know.
Okay, got
Yeah,
it. Okay.
yeah, you know.
Christian Green.
No, Alcedo. You always see him. He's a little short Mexican-looking dude, Asian-looking dude. They're always, if one of them's here, the other one's usually here. So I was in Chicago for training, and we're like, "Yo, let's go to Kips's restaurant." And there's a bunch more people that were supposed to show up, and they didn't. So it was just us 3 with the kids, and I was like, and Kip's like, "What do you want to eat?" I was like, "Look, bro, just bring shit.
Just the right thing.
Just
yeah.
bring us shit." He's like, "Yeah, what do you like?" And so he brought 2-3 kinds of empanadas, and he brought this dish and that, and like, because we thought more people were showing, so we said bring food for 5-6 people, and you know Kips is a generous person, so he brought for 6-7 people, and there's only really 3.5 of us, and man, dude, I was eating, and then it was like, it got to the point where I started getting full, and I was like, what do I want to eat? Like, I started like filling up on the stuff that, it was super fresh. Everything was like the sauces that went with this, and oh man, it was fucking. If you're in Chicago, you're fucking up if you don't go to Kips's.
The problem is that restaurant wouldn't support.
No.
This area wouldn't support him.
No.
There's been some really good concepts that have come in. There's some people that have tried to do like a California fusion, real healthy sandwich. Not that the sandwiches are healthy, but fresh. Let's say fresh as well as healthy. Nice breakfast options with, a lot of coffee options. And they start out with a good idea, but it quickly goes sideways. They lose momentum or they just lose interest. We've seen many restaurants come in where the first 90 days, if you go to eat there, you have to park literally fucking a quarter mile away and walk to that motherfucker because it's new. So everybody goes there, and all the utility trucks, everybody's there at lunchtime. So parking is never enough. And then all of a sudden, boom, that place is out of business when the newness wears off.
How's that drive-through sandwich place? Is it still open?
Sometimes it's open, I believe. I've never been there. It was who thought that was a great idea? They told him when he was doing it. I remember as a child in Kearney Mesa by Grandma's house, there was kind of a drive-through, had coolers on both sides,
yeah.
and you just told them they kind of like got your shit, and then you drove through the fucking refrigerator area, and they handed you your stuff. It was yogurt and milk and cheese, and probably pretty close to where it was manufactured back then in the late 70s, probably early 80s. They tried that concept here. I've heard that there is a drive-through pharmacy liquor store. You can get margaritas on tap in places like
that in Baton Rouge.
That might work somewhere, but a drive-through grocery store, it was open for 3 months maybe.
Baton Rouge, as long as it's got a lid in it with no straw in the lid, it's legal to give you. So they have drive-through.
Can you put a straw in it once you receive it?
It's not their.
I heard passengers can.
They're not there. It's not. The responsibility is no longer on them.
What
you do after the fact.
But
I'm
what
actually-
is your obligation legally?
Well, you can't drive with an open.
But your passenger can. We can here,
Yeah,
right?
I'm surprised.
If
one
you have some
hasn't
states,
opened
if you
here.
have the
Here you
commercial,
you can. The passenger can have a fucking drink.
yeah, I don't know because a bunch of boys been going down to Louisiana and training and stuff like that, and big. You ask Zach Hall and all those guys. Like you can get like these slushies that have just
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
insane alcohol content. They give it
Yeah.
to you with a lid. Whatever you do with the lid.
As long as
Yeah.
the driver don't blow fucking.
Yeah, whatever you do after the fact is on you.
Hey, John and Skully, thanks for the podcast. I heard about it when Jack Spirko mentioned you. I work in pest control and have logged almost 20,000 kilometers the past couple of months doing rural work in Saskatchewan, Canada. Your shows have been great for the long drives. Dude, thank you for listening, man. And thanks for listening to Spirko, too. The work is commission-based. You have motivated me to get off my ass, take on more work to grow the paycheck. Thanks for that. Side note, the wife is a farmer's market vendor, and I was standing there talking to another vendor about the weights he had on his pop-up tent. Next time I look at my phone, guess what the ad was for? I had never searched for or talked about tent weights before. Scary shit. That's because she talked about it. She's probably on your account. Your phones are both in the same house at night. That's what happens. And those are pretty cool for guys that don't know what he's talking about on Easy. Look up Easy Up canopies. There's a lot of brands. Easy Up is kind of the original. Quality is great with them. We have several of them. But they make a bag. It's like a Cordura nylon bag with some loops. And you fill it with sand or gravel or whatever. We see guys use water jugs also for those. Awesome, man. Good for you. Hi, John and Skully. What's some advice for someone who wants to travel to Tennessee alone without getting kidnapped or ending up in criminal court? Joking, but serious. From Europe, what SOE gear did Skully, I'm guessing he's used during his deployment to Iraq? What's some essential preparations for your vehicle trucks? Thanks. Loving the podcast. As a foreigner, what was that?
Riverman.
As a foreigner, I actually don't know the answer. Don't bring guns here if you're not supposed to have them. Aside from that, you're probably fine. Don't have any drugs, anything like that you're not supposed to have, and you won't have an issue here.
Hey, you're not going to get kidnapped.
I mean,
in
unless
Tennessee.
you're colored. If you're colored, you're going to be in a lot of trouble.
No, that's not even true.
That's fucking.
That's not even true.
Man, just keep your head up. It's probably way worse in
Just
Europe
normal,
than it is
just
here.
normal shit. And like anywhere, it depends where you go. I assume you're talking about law enforcement trouble. You're not going to have any law enforcement trouble. You're not going to have any local trouble. Don't go stupid places. Don't do stupid shit with stupid people. As long as you adhere to that, you're probably fine anywhere in Tennessee, most of the United States. I mean, there's definitely some places. But like, as a U.S. citizen, you go to Mogadishu, you can do all that stupid place, stupid people shit you want. There's probably some shit going to happen to you. You better roll in deep. But that's not how it is here, man. You hear Memphis is really bad. I've rolled into Memphis with little white girl fucking Porsche and a $5,000 handbag. And, there's some places definitely, like, you're extra cautious. You're like, don't get your fucking purse out of the car kind of shit. Yeah. But you know where those places are. You can tell generally when you're there.
You can get a international driver's license. And just keep all your documentation right. I mean, if you get pulled over sometimes, but your average cop may not be educated enough on the international laws on what you can and can't do. But just make sure your paperwork's right. And just follow the rules, man. Like
chances are, though, if you're coming from anywhere in Europe, you have got more restrictions than you're going to have when you get here. So.
Plus, if you're coming to Camden here, they're used to seeing a lot of people from all over the world because of TAC response. And if you go to our next sistering, the biggest town with a movie theater, Paris, we have an Eiffel Tower. So, I mean, I'm sure they're used to seeing a lot of people from Paris and shit. And, Werewolf in London and all that shit. So you're probably fine. What gear did you use in Iraq?
So, in Iraq, I carried...
Flashlight pouch?
No, I didn't have a flashlight pouch.
Did you see any flashlights?
They have flashlights back
then. When we were on ships, I saw more of that
maybe you
stuff.
know it by head honcho.
I saw more that we were on ship, but
pocket pussies, like people had pocket pussies.
Yeah, oh yeah.
They didn't make flashlights in the 80s
or the 60s.
I didn't want to go that far back.
They weren't using plastic. What was that stuff called? Bakelite.
Bakelite.
Did you ever see a Bakelite pocket pussy?
I have not seen a Bakelite pocket pussy, but back then it was much easier. It was much easier to get a it's much easier to get the real thing. You didn't really have
That's
to.
why I think they should take it on deployment.
So,
with them.
so were all the additionals that came with the
Yeah,
show.
you didn't have
You
to
just
bring
keep a penicillin pouch in your pocket.
It should be in no. You should deploy with them. It should be in like rec and welfare.
And in the Army, I think it is.
I think so.
I think they
I heard
do
the Air
rec and
Force
welfare.
deploys with prostitutes as well.
Well, they don't really call them prostitutes.
Well, I mean, you feed them. I mean,
Health and
They're
comfort girls.
escorts.
Health and comfort girls.
They're escorts.
Health
They only
and
become
comfort. Is
hookers
that a real
after
thing?
they die.
Yeah, health and comfort girls.
what does that do?
Health and comfort.
Like massage and gives you
Yeah,
penicillin,
make
or
sure,
like
you're,
sucks
make sure
your
you're
dick?
good to go. Health and comfort girls.
It's like
I
a
like it.
conjugal visit.
I like
Yeah.
it. Okay, what about what prep should you have for your vehicles and trucks while traveling through Tennessee? Whatever they fucking rent you, you're probably not going to get a truck. Us personally, I have everything you could possibly want for the end of the world and to rebuild civilization. And whenever we need it, none of it's in any of my trucks.
I'm actually doing a class about this.
I know it's all in the truck that we don't have with us.
Yeah.
What do you carry? What do you got? Are there cars coming with no spare tire? There are, right?
Yes. If your car has MOE, or it'll say run flat on it a lot of times, but MOE is a manufacturer original extended. Extended means run flat. They don't come. They'll either come with a pump with some like juice you should shove
Both
in
my
there.
Porsches have that.
Yeah, or they won't come with a spare. Most of them don't come with a spare.
Neither of my cars have a spare tire, right?
Yeah. No.
That's what I thought. Because somebody like
both of them
some
have-
dude's like, no, that's bullshit. Every car in the United States has to.
Nope.
I'm like, he had me second guessing it, but
Nope.
I'm thinking, where the fuck is the spare tire in that car at?
Nope.
On the roof rack.
The Range Rover does, because when you fall in a 6-foot fucking trench going through Nashville on the way to Atlanta, and it literally busts your wheel to a 6-inch flat spot, you have to put your spare tire on.
I got to talk to you about that after. As a reminder.
Deployments to Iraq.
No, the class.
I said, oh, your class.
Yeah.
You want to talk about it for a minute?
Yeah, so this year at Alumni, I will be teaching a 1-hour block on like vehicle maintenance, long-term maintenance, stuff you should have in your car. If I have enough time, if I get the curriculum written down correctly, I want to also kind of do a little tidbit on how to buy a car.
I think that's the one, man. I've heard you talk to Nate about that.
Yeah.
I heard you say that a couple. That in itself
Yeah.
is that should be like an online little book you sell on eBay
Yeah.
or something, or on Amazon.
Just things to look for, gear to have in your car, and I'm going to show, I've got a vehicle med pouch, I got a couple tool bags, I've got a couple stuff that set up for, and I'll have some stuff I'm going to buy that you can buy right off Amazon, like cheap stuff. I mean, I'm talking the whole toolkit with everything you might need is going to probably cost you less than $150. Stuff just you should keep in your car. It'll just make life a lot easier.
Dude, I got a side business for you. I'll bet it exists, but I've never fucking heard of it. I went in and bought a Toyota truck and just paid whatever they wanted, right? But the second time we went in and bought a truck, Pierre saved me $7,000 on the truck. He's like, what is this? Bullshit. What is this? Bullshit. What is it? Like, go get the other dude. And like, he'd get up. I'm like, go get your manager, man. Yeah, we'll take a different deal. $4,999. But that's $5,000. I go, I know. I just said it differently for you. That's the deal. You're gonna take this $5,000 addendum off. So he goes to get his boss and comes out, and I'm like, you're a sales dude.
Yeah, that's the second move.
That's the
That's the
and
second
then and
move.
I'm
The
like,
manager doesn't come out until the second guy can't.
and I'm
close.
like, we're out of here. I'm buying a truck today. It's
Yeah.
just not here.
Yeah.
And they knew that they had my key, but I had a second key. I'm like, fuck it. We'll just
I'll
back up. We'll
pay
just drive
$200
off.
for the key and just leave.
Yeah, you can have the fucking key.
Yeah.
So I think if you went in as a liaison, I mean, sooner or later the dealers would probably shut you down somehow on this.
Yeah, they just tell me to leave.
But if then your customer's going to leave too. I mean, imagine if you got a percentage of the money you saved them off of what they had.
So most businesses now are moving towards
Online.
the online and the CarMax. CarMax kind of brought this on. I actually really like
There's
CarMax.
a couple apps for that.
I really do like, all those the True Car and all that. That's just yes, it's not bad. I like CarMax's business because CarMax is all about volume.
So you think the dealership's is dying? It's a dying model.
No, well,
I'd
a
say
lot of
totally
brick and mortar
yes,
stuff. A lot of brick and mortar stuff is going away.
Mm-hmm.
The dealerships have to adapt because it's a lot easier. There's a company I forget what it is, like Carvana. You
Yeah,
see
that's
it.
one of them.
Yeah, so like you go on their commercials. A dude sitting on his couch. I want this car. It shows up in a flatbed. You drive it. You don't like it, you give it back to the guy. He comes back like you just do that until you buy a car. But a lot of the companies are moving away from negotiation, and they're moving towards like CarMax. CarMax, this is what your price is. This is what we're giving you for your car. Take it or leave it. There's no negotiation. You can sit till you're blue in the face. Dude's going to tell you, this is all I'm giving you for your car when trading, and this is all we're selling this car for. If you don't want to buy it, somebody else will buy it. So it cuts all that negotiation
out. So
out.
they have a lot of advantage because you're doing your trade-in through them, and you happen to have something else that they want also.
Yes, but that's also driving the price of cars down on the used market because, well, they can manipulate it.
So it's killing your trade-in value.
It's killing... they're buying at better deals, right? So, like, if you can sell... It's always been a couple grand less than what you can sell it privately, but now it's like, it's getting a little bit more, so... But your purchase price is becoming a little bit less. They're making less money on it. They're just not negotiable. Because before they would $5-6 grand on the back end of a car,
which is what they were doing on mine. They're like, well, there's this $5,000 addendum because we don't get many of them. Motherfucker,
I thought you were adding stuff. I was looking through the pricing, and I was like, what did you add? That's $5 grand, dude.
You're ordering this from Japan. Like, they haven't even built this. This isn't it was sitting here and there was a bunch of people that want it. And then they wanted to, like, jack on the trade-in. I go, I have owned this truck for 6 months. There's been one service.
What happens in 6 months when he comes back to try this one in?
Yeah. Like, that's all. I bought a Toyota. All I ever heard was resale value, resale value, resale value. And, like, they did exactly what we wanted. It just took 4 hours. I'm like, why didn't we just skip this bullshit?
There's two reasons. I'll give you a little bit of the how to buy a car spiel right now. There's two reasons. Maybe we'll do that as a different podcast.
Go ahead.
There's two, well, more in depth.
Yeah.
There's two reasons to buy a car new. You're going to drive the ever-living piss out of it. Like, you know you're going to get 200,000+ miles on it. You're going to keep it till it's done and then get a new one. Like, that's how you get your value out of buying a new car. Or why do you buy a $50,000 watch?
Because I want people to know I'm wearing a $50,000 watch.
Those are the two reasons you buy a car. New. Because the second you drive off...
Actually, let me elaborate on that because there's some guys listening that don't know. I buy a $50,000 watch because I want other dudes with $50,000 watches to invite me to their $50,000 watch gatherings where Porsche brings in all the cars and fucking all the champagne companies come in, and that's networking is what it is. That's really what it is.
Yes. So I hate to say it, but average Joe Schmo, you know what I mean? You're making $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 a year. You really shouldn't go buy a car brand new that's $25,000, $30,000. Because you can buy that same car a year earlier, 20% less. It's got a little bit of mileage on it. You can buy your CPO, which is your certified pre-owned warranty, which always extends farther than the regular warranty. Like with Mercedes, you get 4 years, 50,000. Your CPO goes 4 years after that, unlimited mileage.
Like I prepaid 6 years of service, right?
Yeah.
Prepaid it, got 60% off on it or whatever.
Right.
But I only kept the truck 6 months. They did all the service I paid for. They were going to do anyways for 2 years. So if you're not going to be in that truck,
yeah. So there's
so they actually, when I trade the truck in and I leave Toyota, they have to give me almost $6,000 back.
Yeah. So Ryder, you know Ryder.
Yes, yeah.
Ryder recently, not to put his stuff out there, but purchased a car for his wife. She got some, and they went to CarMax, and I said, and he was asking, and Cheddar Bob was giving him some advice, like don't get this, look at this, because he sees a lot of Cheddar sees a lot of stuff. And they picked a car, and I told him, all I wrote in big caps is get Max Care, which is a CarMax like extended warranty. In Ryder right away was like, hell yeah, he said, I bought the 5 year, 100,000 warranty. He's just saved me $1,500 on his BMW because he took it in, he paid his $100 deductible. I can't tell you how many engines I've put in on Mercedes-Benz. A Mercedes-Benz brand new fucking engine under CarMax warranty. They just take it apart. Yeah, it's messed up. Here's your check.
So what about like my situation? I'm going to get this truck. I'm going to keep it for 6 months, or let's say a year. Every year I'm going to trade it in for the new model, right? Would I be better? I'd be better off leasing at that point, wouldn't I?
Yes. But your lease is going to be 2 years.
Can I not trade in at a year on a lease?
No.
They
used to be able to pay a couple months extra and then get out of it or pay it all up front. Now here's how they get you. We're going to take the car to auction. Whatever the car brings in at auction, less its value or worth or whatever, you owe the difference.
So they don't lease. They never lease pre-owned vehicles. The lease will always be on brand new
cars.
Now, you can do 1 year leases. Usually they're way expensive. Second of all, That guy that remember that video we saw
Yeah,
on
the
YouTube?
co-op guy.
No, the guy that bought those razors, like the 15.
Yeah.
Not razors.
Well, he's the dude out of Vegas.
Correct.
And
yeah.
does Ferraris
Royalty,
and Lambos and everything.
Royalty Exotics. His name's Houston. I've never met the guy. I just watch. I like his channel. He's got a lot of really cool stuff.
Yeah, I like the dude.
He just started. I don't know, and it's pretty amazing because I've never heard of this. A private leasing company.
Yeah.
So to go to lease a Lambo for a year, it's $40,000 down and like
$2,500.
$3,500 a month.
Yeah.
This is a shit ton of money. Well, Houston now has his own. Like he bought a dealership. He's got all the correct paper. It's all legit legal leasing. He buys the car. So you call him up and you're like, "Hey, dude, I want a Lambo. What do you want? This is what I want. This is my color." He says, "Cool. I have one in inventory. This is what it is. This is what it costs. It covers. I think it covers insurance. I think it covers maintenance. It covers anything wrong with the car because he's got his own shop and stuff like that."
Vin Wiki has a dude on that's a finance company that does a similar thing. They
Yeah.
go and buy the exotic cars you want,
Right.
and then you just leverage them. You make
Right.
the payments until they appreciate, and
Yeah.
then you can sell them in for your fucking
Right.
profit.
But this guy does one year leases on whatever. Like I want a Bentley Arnage. Cool. We buy the car. He owns the title. He does it all, and he just leases it to you. And it's all by the books. And he's half the down payment, which is on a Lamborghini, $20,000. The payment's $500 to $1,000 cheaper than
Right.
it is, and you can get whatever you want.
Plus, you can get out of it when you decide you don't want it.
Yeah,
Like
or something changes.
So I wanted, like you can go test drive some fucking Ferraris and shit. You
Yeah.
can go test drive Lambos. They'll let you drive them and shit. But we went to the racetrack, right, and rented everything I thought I wanted to buy.
Yeah.
But you can't tell shit on a fucking racetrack
No.
about where the air conditioners are blowing, where the fucking turns. Because there's a dude next to you. He's like, shift, shift, shift,
Yeah.
brake, 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 brake.
Yeah.
And the car's going,
Yeah. Yeah. He's just beating the shit
you're
out
just
of it.
beating the fuck. It's beating you.
That dude he's like just the sheer volume of stuff that he buys and what he has in inventory. Just from what I've seen online, he's got to be making. He's got to be very successful, and he's got a really cool story. Started off like go-karts or scooters, like renting a scooter, and it just blew up.
scooters.
Yeah,
It was scooters.
Yeah.
So
If we go to Vegas, we should probably check that place.
So
out.
if I wanna do a new car every 6 months or every year, I have to buy it and then just take the hit on it. Because the cost of ownership on the Toyota, right?
Yeah.
Straight across, I could have bought a Lamborghini.
You could have bought something. Yeah, that's what I was trying to tell you after the fact. Right before the, I mean,
Yeah.
That's what I was like. If you just think about what you lost and what you put down and all this other stuff, like
And plus, like if you want to modify a vehicle, anything you put on that
you're
truck,
not getting that back.
yeah, that's zero. So you put like an Icon suspension lift or something, you know, like a tasteful, nice kit, a wrap on it, some aftermarket shit. You might as well pull those parts off. The next truck you buy, it better fucking just fit all that shit. Because selling it, you're going to take a huge hit on that. Okay.
Yeah.
Podcast 95. You talked about Saving Private Ryan movie. Remember showing it to my grandfather when it came out. He drove a tank under General Patton's 3rd Armored Division. He said the movie was a crock of shit. Said the part about them letting Private Ryan refuse to leave but stay and help defend the bridge was bull. My grandfather's nickname was Big Nick, and where I got my name. He said his CO would have told said grab Ryan, Big Nick. He would have put the butt of his rifle against Ryan's head, threw him over his shoulder, and hauled his ass back behind front lines. He said, orders are orders. You don't make up your own mind, laugh out loud. Just thought it was funny. Grandpa is past now, but he was my hero and loved his stories. Thanks for the podcast. Any situations like that?
No.
Like you did exactly what you were told to the fucking T every fucking time. No. Okay, we'll take that as a no.
I'm just trying to
Did
think.
you get in
What
less,
he means
did
is
you get in
not
less
ever
trouble?
once.
So no, here's the thing.
I've been chewed out before.
This is how.
I love that line.
See, the statement that's just kind of the wrong statement. Everything we did was in order to accomplish the mission. So if
Did
that
you get in
means
less trouble if you didn't do it how they wanted you to do it, but you still did it?
here's a Marine Corps fact. Marine Corps fact. Even if you completely broke regulations, you walked by the CO like this as you were going to do it.
As long as it works, you're not in trouble.
If the mission gets accomplished,
You're fine.
they will be like,
Man, Jeff's knocking shit off in here left and
If
right.
the- if the
you notice
mission-
it's like 20 degrees hotter in here with
Yeah.
fucking him in here?
if the mission gets accomplished, they'll be like, yeah, that fucking staff sergeant's an asshole, but
You made me look good.
yeah, because that's all they look at.
done.
That's all they look at. It's progression of mission of accomplishment. So if the captain can tell the colonel that the mission was accomplished, sir, and as
Colonel
long as
does
there's
that
no videos of me out there pissing on dead bodies and shit like that, we're good to go.
Why
Like,
should
they
that
won't even care.
Why should that even be fucking? Why should these dudes be getting fucked up for that?
The reason why they got fucked up for it is because the Marine Corps is about its reputation. It's the biggest publicity machine out of all the services. If you listen to Marine Corps history, you would think we won all the wars single-handedly, and that's on purpose. And so they're always worried about public perception. Public perception.
So they're all
They
in
will-
trouble
they will
because their
sacrifice-
fucking
yeah.
dumbasses videotaped it.
Yeah, they will sacrifice.
But that's like the story with
Anyone
everything.
Yeah,
Right?
well,
Like,
it is,
stop, like, just do whatever. How many people have gotten in trouble for
That's-
doing shit they shouldn't do?
That's my point.
As long as nobody
That's
found
my
out
point.
about it.
Everything
who
we
gives a
talk
shit?
about, everything we talk about through history that's like, fuck yeah, right on,
Right.
kick the ass. All of that shit, had you done all that shit today and documented it,
You know what it's
fuck,
like?
we'd all be in prison over it.
What's that movie? You Can't Handle the Truth. You know,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah,
you know what I'm
yeah,
talking about?
yeah.
Where he's like going on the rant on the stand, and he's like, "You need your shit that you wouldn't sleep at night if I." They're like, "Yes, thank you.
Here's
Just shut up and do it." Like,
but here's the thing. And this is
right? Like,
This is why this is kind of my thing right there. The Marine Corps,
yeah,
even if so in that scenario, even if Colonel Jessup was like, yeah, I told him to do the code red,
right.
the Marine Corps would be like, all right, Jessup, you are now in charge of 4th LAR in Alaska.
Yeah,
Navy commander,
Yeah.
you are whatever the fuck you want.
Siberia.
You're out. That would have never went to trial. They would have never because it made the Marine Corps look bad. They would have never done that. Especially a colonel. You were not going to fucking berate a colonel on the fucking stand in a court-martial when you have no evidence.
right,
It wouldn't happen.
right.
So it is okay to do a code red.
It is not okay to do a code red unless you're accomplishing the mission.
Does hazing make for fucking better personnel?
Depends on the hazing.
Does it weed the weak out?
It depends
So,
on
like,
the hazing.
here's what and
Okay,
my
let's-
my opinion on the outside.
It depends on
Like
the
the
hazing.
soap thing when in
Soap
Full
and
Metal
Sock?
Jacket,
Yeah.
Metal Jacket, where they beat the ever like. To me, that seems a little excessive. Like you physically, like that
What did
dude.
the guy do?
When
I never saw it.
he kept fucking up, and they wouldn't fix himself, so
But-
they code redded him. I guess because similar. Right? They,
Yeah,
It sounds more
Like
like,
the
they
whole-
meted
Hey,
him
but wait a
out.
minute. Wait a minute, though. Wait a minute. Was he not a better Marine after he got his ass whipped?
Okay. I mean, like, to me, that's a different. Look.
He was a
let's-
better
again,
Marine
here's
after
how
he
I
got
look
his
at
ass
it.
whipped.
If you sign on the piece of paper saying I'm willing to die for this country, right? I think nobody that hasn't signed on that piece of paper's opinion should fucking matter or should be applied, period. So, like, the dudes over there, like, if you went and said, hey, we need you to come back and train these dudes, like, and you said, all right, I'm going to beat the shit out of every single dude to get them to do this thing and get the point across, and some therapist came like, no, let's just talk, right? Like,
The
look,
problem
dude,
is-
like, I've seen the people that have gotten their ass kicked and how they react over there, and the people that haven't and how they react over there. And
You can get people through pain and repetition. So no matter what, if, for example, if I wanted you to, I don't know, it doesn't
Whatever.
matter. Whatever it is, I want
X.
you to remember X. Through pain and repetition, you will do it faster. I will have to put, if I can't use pain and repetition, I will have to put more hours in overall
And
to get you
bribery
to
and
learn this,
coddling.
to get you to learn the same thing. Not a big deal when you in the big run,
Right.
in the long run. Except the military has a finite amount of time to train people to get them to a certain point.
So break them down and build them up.
Yeah, so pain and repetition will always be faster. The problem is, and this is what honestly, it's what happened in the Marine Corps, is it became a point where it was no longer about accomplishing the mission. it became a point, kind of like in colleges, it became a point where it was more about the hazing and less about what is the function of this.
I got you. I see what you're saying.
So what is the function of this?
The real problem is, and the only reason we're even talking about it is because we know about it, and the reason we know about it is because when little Johnny gets fucking peered out or fucking pushed out or drowned or whatever, mom loses her shit and goes to church with a congressman. So now there's an investigation, or you get embedded with news crews. We know several guys at combat dive school in multiple branches, right? Dudes drown. We know a lot of dudes who have drowned and are fucking operating right now because they were revived. But every now and then a dude drowns and doesn't get revived. There was a news crew on Camp Pendleton when they were fucking, drown-proofing motherfuckers, and they lost their shit over it, and they weren't allowed to run BRC for a year. So, is it a necessary evil? I mean, there's a lot of tough motherfuckers.
Is it an evil?
You're right.
Well, I think
that's the question.
It just depends on, and that's the thing.
For little Johnny's mom, who's been a housewife her whole life, no disrespect to that, but like someone that's not comprehended even accepting the fact that I'm going to go do something.
How about the fact that motherfucker volunteered for that?
That's my point.
And did all the shit to get to that
Correct.
point.
You got the mindset.
He didn't show up. He didn't show up at boot camp, and we jammed a hose in his fucking throat and fucking threw a towel over his face.
The majority of people have to have some kind of acceptance as I'm going to join the military and I might die.
As someone who's been investigated several times for, not me particular, but because of the sniper community, that the issue is because of, especially with high turnover. So even when you look at recon guys, they're like, hey, this guy got drowned, this guy fucking frapped out in the pool and we had to revive him. What ends up happening is, over time, more and more people, more and more guys are going through that phase and then getting to there, where instead of it just being a training lesson in the sense of, see what happens if you don't fucking do your shit right?
Right.
It becomes
let's drown them all.
We got to see how many we can drown. The same thing would happen in sniper school, that people would get fucked up.
So absolute power corrupts.
Yeah, or I think it's
fun or sadistic or whatever.
The issue is, you have to have, like, the Marine Corps does not, and we still don't. The Marine Corps does not vet who they have instructing.
Got it.
In those fine arts, so it'll be like even recon.
It's
They're
your
just
job
like,
to do it.
Hey, you're a recon guy. You've been in recon for 10 years. You're now at BRC. Same thing with snipers.
But that's everything.
Like you got to drown somebody first class.
But you can boil that down to third grade teachers.
Yeah, no,
you know what I mean? Like some people want to be there, want to teach, and know the value of it.
The difference is not too many people die leaving third grade.
But the application of
most teachers are there to fuck single fathers.
Sure. But how many people in the third grade get fucked up mentally over something because the teacher's a dickhead? I had a teacher that would throw my homework away.
Well, that's because you were a shitty student.
And that's fine, but still, fuck you, bitch. Like, I'm not throwing my shit. She sent me and 8 other people in class to go get tested for ADHD, and like the next class there was another and then she kept sending so many people. They sent her. She ended up having ADHD, and most of the kids like
she's in a psych ward now.
She just wanted everybody to be on Ritalin. I don't want to work. I know teachers that
I would like to see the connection, because we hear this actually comes up quite a bit. Teachers pushing for medication of students, right? And we always hear doctors pushing meds, kickback from the pharmaceutical companies. But I've never ever heard it mentioned of any correlation between teacher and pharmaceutical company kickbacks.
I don't think.
I'll bet you it's
but to me, I feel like it's more like you're a business owner. You have employees.
I'd like to see the grants from the pharmaceutical companies to the school districts.
But you have employees, and some employees want to work. Some people, like I know a handful of teachers, and some of them take those jobs in the inner cities. Like one specific teacher, she works for
I think
Detroit.
I think they do it because it makes them feel better about themselves.
Which is a great motivation for, you know, I mean, those kids, like they need help, and
some of them truly, obviously, if they're there, they care about those
She
kids.
does, and this girl, who I'm thinking about specifically, 100%
She's white too.
does. Hell yeah. Well, she's half Puerto Rican, but she's half white. But she does it because she cares, and she does. Like the bus broke, and they needed to take them somewhere, so she started a fundraiser to raise money to fix the transmission. Like all this stuff because she cares. But I know other teachers that are like, you know, I mean, 4:30 comes around, they get home and they start pounding beers and vodka and whatever while they're grading just to get through. It's like, look, if you don't like your job, go do something else. And and you've talked about this, I know 100 times probably, but like I think the teacher is the most important job. I think
I did too until I had a friend that worked in the school district.
Yeah.
And I was back living at Mom's house when I came home from prison, hanging out with these guys, and I was introduced to some shit that just fucking blew my mind. Just the level of fucking whores that were elementary school teachers.
Yeah,
it was fucking amazing.
I never saw any of them. They all are.
I wish some of my teachers would have touched me when I
Man,
was in
I'd
school.
have been excited about it.
We had one kid.
Would it ruin my life?
Okay.
No, I'm a male. It
So
would not
all boy
ruin
high
my
school, right? Everybody was either we had nuns and priests were teachers. There was one teacher that was
Pierre's about to tell us he was touched.
somewhat good looking. I mean, the definition of a butterface, right? But like in this school, this chick was fucking smoking. And she was a slut and a half.
It's all about where you're at.
Put a mask on her and she's hot.
She would like walk around with her cart. It was the only fucking teacher with a cart and stick her ass out and wear heels and walk her. And she would get she was just a regular. And she would get like catcalled down the hallways of a high school because she was doing it. We did.
Yeah, you know she was fucking.
She was, and then there was like we do pep rallies. So the freshmen had to do the school chant, then the sophomores, then the juniors, then the seniors started chanting her name and blowing up condoms and rap and like.
If Cody'd come home, if I'd have found out Cody was getting fucked by his older female teacher,
good for you.
I'd be like, you better be getting fucking A's, motherfucker.
So
that bitch better be buying you a car.
This one kid stood up and he got suspended for it. He stood up, walked up to her desk, had a rock hard one on, didn't whip it out, but like placed it on the desk over his like pants, right? And like blew his nose and was staring at it and looking at her and staring at it and looking at her.
He took it too far.
He did take it too far.
Yeah.
She quit the next semester, like halfway through the year.
He very well could have been having fucking sexual relations, but he did it in public.
The full there's
you can walk in here and say a lot of shit to me.
Yeah.
You can email me and say a lot of shit, but when you do it in public, that makes it very fucking different.
Correct.
Like that post, like me blasting that dude, right? It's shared to the main page. My intention never was to share it to the main page.
Correct.
When we were having the conversation, I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Right.
I couldn't see it on my phone. It didn't come up on my main page. When I went to the computer, it was on the main page.
Right.
But after those dudes showing up talking shit, I couldn't delete it.
Right. I
couldn't.
Right.
It would look like I'd fucking in a position of weakness.
Right.
I couldn't fucking take it down. We had to let it roll. And it worked in our benefit.
Yep.
So, same thing with that bullshit. Skully mentioned helping his elderly neighbor and talked about using a flashlight searching a field. What kind of flashlight was it that you do recommend for your stuff? Go ahead. For real.
No, for real. I don't know the name of it. It's like Costco Duracell.
The ones I got?
Yeah.
So if you go to the blog on the Special Operations Equipment Facebook SOE Tactical Gear webpage, I have done a review on it. You can buy them through Amazon. It is a Duracell flashlight. It takes 4 or 3.
I want to say 4.
4 C batteries. Yeah. Has a focusable spot. You guys that have been on the property here, I can walk out the front door here, and illuminate the whole tree line on the edge of the property with it. Like you can throw it out in the spot and just scroll across and see a possum all the way on the other end of the property or whatever eyes are out there. And once it moves, you can tell what it is. They ran about $25-$30. Comes with 4 Duracell batteries. I bought every one of them that Costco had on the floor a couple years ago and just gave them to all the guys as gifts and stuff. I keep them in every truck. If you had to hit somebody with it, it's machined aluminum. We keep them at all the entry exit points of all the buildings. They just sit there should the power go off or dogs are going nuts and it's dark and we need to run out the door. There's always a light for anybody that needs to do anything outside. solid product, especially for $30 if it's even that.
My dad one time talking about Costco flashlights. Remember the wind up
Yes.
one?
Yeah.
He bought it and he loved it. And so like my mom was telling me the story. The following week he went to Costco and grabbed. He was going to buy more because he liked them so much. Because you wind it up and light it.
Uh-huh.
And another similar aged man walked up to my dad and said, "What's that?" And my dad goes, "Oh, let me show you." And then he proceeded to walk around all of Costco and pitch these flashlights to everybody. He said they sold out. Like he ended up. I was like, "You should have got a kickback." Should have went to the manager and told him I want a year free.
That's good shit.
Yeah.
But really, man, you can't go wrong with Surefire. There's a bunch of clones.
I have all
End
those.
of the world, going to war, trust your life. Fucking, you can't beat Surefire.
I have all those lights, and it's the
But
Duracell light I grab every
know
time.
the product and what it's
Plus, with the Duracell, you're not going to bury it in your pocket, right?
No.
The Duracell, it fits in our pocket, our slash pockets on the Coles. It'll fit. I can put it in these pockets on the Katanica shorts. But it's 4 cells long, right? But the thing with it is, when you need to work,
really
you can
good
put it
LED.
under your arm really well and work. You're not going to put it in your mouth like you will a little Surefire, but you can put it between your neck and your arm. You can put it under your armpit. You can throw it on the ground. It'll do a spot or a flood, and you can hit shit with it should you need to do that, which is a plus. And they fit perfectly in the pockets of all the doors. They fit in my Porsche pockets. They fit Range Rover, all the big trucks. We keep them in every door of all the trucks. And with that, we keep a pair of leather work gloves in both of them as well. And then other shit. Like I try to keep chainsaw wrenches, scrunches in every door. I have no fucking idea why that is the thing that disappears all the time. About buying the tractor so you can get it serviced. I work at an RV retailer and motorhome dealership. I know it's common with our industry to only service what you sell. Our dealership services anyone's unit no matter where you bought it. The way we figure it is by taking care of the service, and we earn the chance to sell you a trailer or motorhome the next time. About the dealership, we sell 200 to 300 units a month in small town USA. Keystone RV Center, because of SOE and tactical response, I push to get a YouTube channel. I know who you are. Get a YouTube channel for our dealership. We go over a ton of stuff that most dealerships don't, including troubleshooting, maintenance, and basic how-to videos. I watch your videos and have no fucking intention of buying an RV. Like, I just watch your videos. There's always good information in them. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
But the dude has good information on just backing up and lining up a trailer and wiring shit. How-to videos. Even have a tool bag video on it with the SOE tool bag. Some videos have over 3,000 views. Some have 300. Still trying to figure out the recipe for YouTube, but still keep tossing the content out.
So I want to handle this one.
Hold on. I would say also every time you put a video up, share it to your Facebook so you get cross-post.
So this is an old so I don't forget my points. His dealership's probably, I'm gonna guess, very successful because there's the high end, the good dealerships that know what the hell they're doing. They go by the sales sells the first one, service sells the second one. So this is the ultimate long game when it comes to stuff like. I can't tell you how many times I've seen cars come get pulled in. We service them, and then we call up the customer and say, "Hey, your car's worth $7,000, but it needs $6,000 worth of work. Let me get you a salesman." They come back in. The salesman clocks out. I mean, like selling cars in the shop. So that you work for a really, really cool place. The YouTube stuff, just all those big YouTubers, they all say the same stuff. Just stay at it. Keep putting content out there. And everybody always worries about I don't want to tell other people how to do it because then it'll take away from me. If that happens and that's true, it's because your quality is shit.
Yeah, that's what we saw at our Kubota dealer, man.
If you do the best quality that you can, right, and you always strive to better yourself, you could tell somebody because the reality is not everybody wants to do what you're doing. And you get information. I got a roof guy that came out this morning.
Yeah.
And that dude stayed for an hour talking to me. And I was like, "Hey man, you got a business card?" I was like, "I know the HOA pays any roof stuff, but if I need some small stuff, I'd rather just pay you direct. I'm going to recommend you to all my." I mean, I talked to this guy we talked cars. We ended up he put me up on the ladder and showed me everything. And I got a window guy that you can call and
good shit.
It's. Dude was second generation roofer. He's got 3 Corvettes and a Viper and a Raptor. And I mean, successful. I mean, making money, doing real good stuff. But because he puts information out there and doesn't give a shit. When you educate the customer, what goes into their mind at that point is man, do I really want to do? Like, okay, now I know how to do it. Do I really want to do it?
Yeah.
No, this guy's cool. Let me just you win them by.
Yeah,
I want to give this guy money, and you win them by like, I don't want to deal with that. Let me just pay you because it sounds like you know what you're going to do it better than I am.
So I got two things, and I'm going to say them both right now because I'll forget in 30 seconds. We need to be more like that.
Yep.
And number two, like the Kubota thing, we took a fucking lawnmower in, and we knew it needed something, right? And they told us, they diagnosed it right there. It's the key. It needs this resistor thing to boost the blah, 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 whatever. All I heard is, why the fuck don't you just put a new fucking starter switch in there? But then they're like, it needs a pump. It's $1,800. I'm like, okay. And then they're like, well, you don't have to do the low pressure, but we recommend it when you do the high pressure. That's another $1,200. I'm like, okay, do it. Whatever the thing needs, just do it. Like, I would say I am a very fucking easy customer when it comes to shit like that. I mean, you were there.
Yeah.
We got the mower back 6 months later. Fucking $4,000 some worth of shit.
Why?
We go to pick it up because it needed the service and fucking all this shit, right? I don't even question it.
Fine,
Like, I'm an easy victim when it comes to shit like that.
That's what I was going to say.
So we go to pick the mower up and it doesn't start. And they're like, oh, that's real common on these. You need this thing. I go, you're the dude that sold us this. The first thing you said, you told us when it wouldn't start in the trailer what was wrong with this. We came in and you ordered the part off the computer while we were standing there. And you're now telling me that it's not put on here. That was the first thing on the service order. You found all this other bullshit
To make the money.
because it was here to do this.
Yeah.
We get
And
the
they didn't fix it.
tractor back and it runs half the fucking speed it used to run. I haven't even taken it back. Like it mows really well. Like it cuts.
Yeah.
It's like a fucking tank.
But that's just shitty.
So-
that happens on cars.
So you said something. What did you say? What was your saying? Sell them.
the first car,
one.
sales gets the first car, service sells them the second one.
So along those lines, that's what I'm saying. So we've dabbled in this targeted marketing ads. You see all the gurus every time you watch it, or at least me because of my algorithms. Every time I put on a YouTube video, every fucking commercial is, you can make millions selling shit on Amazon.
Yeah.
You can make millions with
I already
targeted
did that
marketing
fucker.
ads.
Yeah.
We can do some of that, but you know what? Most of what we get is a bunch of little cunts talking shit, like the Toyota video. You should have bought an American truck. The Toyota is more American than any fucking U.S. made vehicle that's sitting out there right now.
You know what Frisella does with all those dudes?
Yeah, it blocks them. But I like them.
But
Like we wouldn't be talking about it. So, and Frisella doesn't actually block them all. Rob Bailey posted some big rebuttal that
Yeah.
he put up today. So that Frisella put up. So what's more valuable? Taking care of the customers we have and getting them to refer somebody? Because that's like a vetted customer at that point. What's more valuable? Me telling dudes like, hey, tell me about your tool bag, right? And I'm like, I can tell you about my tool bag. But even better than that, here's a link. If you just search tool bag on Facebook, you will, instead of me telling you how awesome it is, you'll see 5,000 posts from dudes that own them.
So
Go ahead.
it's a twofold answer, I think. In my opinion, it's a twofold answer. And I'm going to use the example when we go to Blade Show. We
Yeah.
eat at
Ruth Chris.
Ruth Chris. So Ruth Chris has a standard. Like, your worst service at Ruth Chris is still going to be better than your half decent to best service at Texas Roadhouse.
I would agree. But we see some pretty hood rat fucking customers come. We saw two dudes fucking this chick on the little park bench.
Yeah, but that wasn't
filming
Ruth Chris.
a porn.
But that wasn't
it was
in
right
Ruth
out
Chris.
inside.
Man, that wasn't inside. But my
There's some
point
hood
is,
rat shit going on.
but my point, I'm not talking about the customer base.
Right,
I'm talking about
right.
the service
Yeah,
performance.
100%.
Now, you went there once, right?
Correct.
You went obviously way before I went with you for the first time, and you kept going back. And
Correct.
I didn't understand why you kept going back till the first night we went. Service was awesome. They made a table for us. There was 10 of us. Cool. The second night, we show up unannounced, 15 dudes. We need to eat in 20 minutes because we're all fucking hungry right now. You know what I mean? Like, and they said, give us 2 minutes. They shut down the room, the private room, and then the two waiters that got the first time told everybody basically, fuck you, there are
Dude,
customers.
we had a dude get in a fight, like fist,
Yeah.
physically
No, fuck
knock
you.
a motherfucker.
And they walked in and they said, whatever you want, we're here to and the one dude said he'd been working there for 10 years and hadn't worked that back room because he's older
It's so
gentleman
tight
and
back
didn't
there.
and it's so tight and he doesn't like walking back there. He goes, but it's for you guys. Now, how did you get to that point? You reciprocated what they gave you.
Yeah,
You took care of them.
100%.
They said now you like. I hate using the word purchase, but like you purchase their loyalty or their service or what. Like you brought the best out of them. So for us, you have to be the Ruth Chris, which you are, right? The gear's there, right? And now the follow-up surface has to be, which
We're developing.
we're doing
we're
it. Right. So, but it's you got to bring them in. You know what I mean? Which is the sales, but you got to bring them in, and then the repeat has to come from after the fact, which we're doing. We're implementing stuff now. That's
So like we've mentioned this some, but so I've been doing the shipping for 8 weeks now, probably 6
Yeah,
weeks,
I
8
don't
weeks.
know.
I've been handling all the shipping, and I hate shipping. Literally hate it. Fucking dreaded it. Like it literally destroyed me the first couple days. Like I'm fighting with them. I'm like, why are we doing this bullshit this way? And that's Pierre came in and did a little shipping today, and he literally said the exact same fucking thing I said. Good.
Here's why I didn't mind it, because you said this is going to be your job. This is what I want you to do. What you told me to do, right?
That's not so that you can do that. That's because you need to know what's involved.
Correct, but that helps me do that.
Yeah.
It gives me, without anybody in my way.
Here's why I have you doing that. It's not about the shipping.
Correct.
The shipping is very important.
Right.
It's the final line between our mistakes and our customer. And I've made some, and it ultimately
it's just going to happen.
It's me letting it slip. So, and even when it's a dude I pay and it slips, it's still my fault. So, but what I've found in shipping this stuff, I have seen after the first couple weeks, I see that I'm shipping stuff to the same dudes. I have dudes that I'm shipping product to every single day. I have dudes that I'm shipping multiple boxes to every single day. I have people with the same last name that are male and female, husband and wives ordering stuff
separately.
But what I'm seeing is like I noticed names like Callahan and fucking Sweeney's one of them. I see a lot of the same names, right? I don't know who some of those people are though. Like I see them on Facebook.
Never heard of them.
But we've never heard of them. So that spurred me to look in the other system and actually take the order number, put it in the other system, and when I click that, I can click on their account. And I've got dudes with 200 and 300 orders, and I don't know who that customer is. That's a fucking shortcoming on that's right. My problem.
Yep.
If I got a customer who has put enough trust and enough whatever it is about us that they like enough to have spent 300 orders worth of their fucking money on us, we need to know who that is. And that's a shortcoming. We need to better know our customers, and that's really what's been happening in the last, I don't know, 4 or 5 weeks probably. There's been a lot of conversations about it. There's been a lot of extra time put into that, and just figuring out how to communicate with them better, because they're not on social media.
No, there's dudes that we've talked about in the past that like, when the YouTube channel, I don't want to say got dormant, but got less active.
Yeah, well,
right?
no, it is. We didn't do any videos for a year.
And then you came back and it's like, oh my God, where have you been? It's like, what do you mean? Like, to me, that still blows my mind that people like, there's Instagram, there's Facebook,
it's crazy,
there's YouTube, and then there's the majority, I would say, would go across all three, right? But there's people that like, no, I don't deal with Facebook, and it's like that's what I told them. Like,
I bet you less than half are across all three.
I would believe that. That's why I started telling them, like, start baiting and seeing. Like, do something only for Facebook. It's like like trying to find the lie. You know what I mean? Like, you tell 3 people 3 different things, and then when it comes back to you, you know where the mole came from. Like start baiting Facebook, start baiting Instagram, start baiting YouTube with 3 separate things, but that are, like, if you was going to do a discount code, equal, just different verbiage, and people just see where it's coming from, and that's where you can start investing maybe more time into, like, we can either grow this, or it's huge and we didn't realize it's that big. We double down on it.
Or we need to grow what isn't. I mean, we need to be everywhere they want us to be.
Correct.
So what I see some of these bigger dudes doing, literally we just bribe them. I mean, that's really what it comes to. It's a moral.
I don't like the word bribe.
But that's what it is.
It is, but I don't like
the
the
2-minute drill. 2-minute drill or the 2-minute whatever.
Yeah.
You have, in the first 2 minutes I post something, the guys that comment and give the best comment, we give you something free. And we make you tag 2 friends. With the people tagging people in my morning videos, I gain 15 to 20 new followers every day.
Man,
and it's amazing that just a vast array. Some of them, like, there's a lot of fitness chicks, a lot of bodybuilders, a lot of businessmen, and then like the vape thing. When I started using the vape hashtags, because our zipper knife pouches hold vape pens perfectly and cartridges and shit. holy fuck, man. We've got 100 vape fucking companies and
Yeah,
direct to
There's
consumer
that chick I
shops.
told you that we shipped her stuff today. Her very first order was Onward.
Which that's another
Yeah, the very first.
Only
I
thing she
clicked her.
ordered.
Nothing she ordered. Nothing. No history. No nothing. One thing Onward.
which is Run Everything Labs.
Run
We're a
everything
dealer
else,
for them.
Yeah. So like, it's coming in. I think we just have to use it better.
I have every flavor of Run Everything Labs protein sitting in a box. It is not for sale. I ordered it for myself. Everything we use, everything we sell, we use. Any of the supplements or supplementation, any of that, the Swinney products, Run Everything, any of that shit, I've used it for years before we have ever offered it for sale. So we now have all the Run Everything Labs. I have never used any of the protein, so we did not bring the protein in. Rob's got a 100% vegan, plant-based protein, no animal products, no earthworms were killed in the manufacture. So I'm going to try it. I haven't even tasted it. I'm actually really excited because I have chocolate and like chocolate mint, and you can trick the I'd drink fucking dog piss if it tasted good.
You got extra
fucking,
of that chocolate mint.
If you told me it made me fucking faster or stronger.
That's what worried me when you were like, "Hey Pierre, we're gonna start drinking cat piss." I was like, "Oh man!" Like
I said you're going to start drinking cat
you
piss.
said "we're."
Well, I say we as in
Me.
you and not me.
Okay, that makes sense.
So, just some
How long does this go
thoughts. Usually 4 hours.
Oh, okay. Well, we're halfway there, I think.
Yeah, we're at 90 minutes. We can go ahead and stop now. I'm sure you want to go tractor.
Ooh. You got like lights? You put a light bar on your tractor?
Not yet. I will
Sure.
though. I want
All the lumens.
Yeah, I want so much light on there.
Daylight.
That people are like,
Yeah.
what is that?
That's what
If the
Is there a
missus comes
UFO?
out, here's what you need to do: enough light where she can go out in the middle of the night while you're
Close
tractoring
Encounters.
in like a bikini and suntan every time you come by her.
That's what I want. I want
Yeah.
people to be calling UFO sightings.
Yeah.
When they said how much light do you want, I said I want to be able to melt motherfuckers. Hey John, would it be possible that SOE can acquire a U.S. Constitution vintage look in 500 or 1000 Cordura print to make some tool bags and other gear you make? Will SOE be offering Benjamin cash print Cordura in the future? Okay, so to answer the question, there are companies out there that will do low quantities, direct to garment printing like that. That's what we're talking about. Unfortunately, every time we get one of them, even though it says 500 denier or 1000 denier, it is not even close to the material that we use. It's not as durable. It's not as tight weave. The finish is not there. The cash print stuff, we had a run of cash print done. When we ran it, those motherfuckers tacked on and ran extra, so some competitors were able to get it. I have intentionally not brought it in, just literally so that other fucking dudes can't get, because they can't afford to do it, is what it is. The real big dudes won't do it, and the guys that can do it, that's why we have it. And the quality, it's just not the same. Like, that cash print, as neat as it is, we cannot warranty it for durability the same as we can our other products.
So let somebody else fuck up and order some and then buy it all out from underneath them.
And it doesn't work that way.
Yeah.
But there is some low run stuff, but while it kind of looks the same, it's not the same shit. It'd be okay for bags and stuff, but I wouldn't want to put it into micro rigs and stuff like that. I mean, the low run stuff. There's some higher run shit out there. We probably will do it. Will you see a Constitution one? Probably not, because I got to order fucking 25,000 yards or something of it.
That one will be the last one.
Scully,
Why is
your...
that the last one?
This
Is that because you did that?
This will be 2
Is that
seconds.
you?
This will be
Color?
2 seconds.
That's you?
I'm going to read this, and you tell me if you've ever heard these words before,
All right, let's see.
because it's in every fucking podcast. Scully, what is your opinion of 6.5 Creedmoor versus 308?
Versus 308?
Yeah.
They didn't really put that in there?
Yeah.
That's like comparing fucking male jiu-jitsu to female jiu-jitsu. It doesn't compete.
What if it's a male that became a
you were-
female?
If you were...
Didn't somebody's skull just get cracked?
Fuck yeah, man. That dude beat the shit out... And
It's ma'am!
the sad part...
It's
The
ma'am!
sad part about that is...
Like, she fucking ended her career, man.
It did end her career, but the sad part about that is fucking they did not tell her that it was a dude.
I'm sure she
ma'am.
knew.
No, they're
ma'am.
saying that she went into that fight thinking she was fighting another woman.
But that's it.
Look,
I got
maybe
you.
the
I got
same-
if you, I don't care how badass you are. If you're going to get into the ring, and someone has that kind of advantage,
I agree.
they should definitely be able to tell you. It's kind of like, you know,
Well,
the
she
goal.
shouldn't
It's
be
kind of
there.
like it's kind of like the Australian female soccer team going and playing a high school male team and getting their asses fucking whipped.
Well, how about this?
No, it's like the
How about-
Australian female team
Yeah.
playing Chelsea at their peak.
How about we throw that bitch in a fucking male fight and see how she does?
Well, that's
Well, that's why she went female because she was losing.
That's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. That's how
Yeah.
all it is. All the
Yeah.
transgender bodybuilders, mountain bikers, any of that shit.
if
That's
you're
always been the case.
If you're a feminist, you should not
6'5"
fucking
or
stand for that.
308? Because I know my answer. I'm just curious on your logic.
It depends on. Okay,
you
so
fired
the truth is, it depends on what you're trying to do. If you're a new shooter,
if you're
and
shooting upside down on a swinging
and you
rope,
want to learn,
Okay,
and you want to learn how to shoot, get a 6.5 because that's like shooting a 9mm. It's a girl's gun. You can mitigate recoil.
or if you're upside down on a rope.
but if you want to kill people,
what's that
you
called?
need a 308.
Thank
PSA,
you.
what's it
That's what I
called?
was saying. What I want.
What's that gun game thing called?
Oh,
They strap you
yeah.
on one of those,
Yeah.
and you got to shoot your targets with a 6.5. That's mostly 6.5 stuff.
yeah, it is actually most 6.5.
I
It's
know
just
it
because
is.
of the low
I don't
recoil.
know.
I'm
like,
just
it's-
repeating what
this
Kent
is-
says.
This is when people want to punch paper.
Yeah.
Versus people that want to punch holes in people.
Yeah,
That's what it is.
That's all it is. It's
Yeah.
it's like
5.56 to
it's like-
300.
You can make them both look just as cool.
It's like all the guys going. It's like all in the old days
I
when
have
all
a
the guys would go to
6.5.
the.
I have an airsoft gun says 6.5 on the side. I got one says 308. They look the same. They
That
shoot the
airsoft-
same. They shoot the same BB.
That airsoft gun is probably a 6. It's probably 6.5.
It actually is.
Millimeters?
It's 6
Yeah,
millimeter, right?
6 millimeter.
Airsoft
It is a
BBs.
6mm. I didn't even think about that.
SMB equals Sergeant Major Booker. Sorry, guys. Skully had just talked about him when I made the comment. I guess somebody said SMB, and we're like, "What the fuck are you talking about?"
Yeah, Sergeant Major Booker.
Hey,
Fucking
gents.
legend.
While I was travel past a few weeks ago, I stopped at a little trading post in Utah desert. There, on the counter, was a fossilized crocodile for sale. Instantly thought of John. Let me know if you would like more info. I shoot you an email. Skully, thank you for your thoughts on my last comment. Thank you both for the time to do these podcasts. I would like to know how much a fossilized crocodile costs.
Is it a baby fossil? Is it a baby? I'm assuming if it's on the counter, it can't be a full size.
Because crocodiles were much bigger back in the day.
Yeah, it can't be a full size crocodile.
Back in the day. Back in the day when I was young, I was just a little
Wednesday.
kid.
Back in the day, it's always a Wednesday.
It is always Wednesday.
Why?
Just that's the day it falls
It is,
on.
Yeah.
It always falls
You
on
notice?
Wednesday.
No.
Yeah, you did.
It is true.
When's Wednesday?
It's
Back in the day, when if you're standing here and you go, remember back in the day when
It's
we
always-
used to
it's
jump
always a
motorcycles over buses?
Yeah, it was a Wednesday.
It would have been a Wednesday. It's always a Wednesday for some reason.
Is that a weekday or a weekend?
Well, it depends who you are. You don't have weekends, so it's a weekday for you.
Yeah, so it's just a regular day, which
Yeah.
means it's probably
If we're
it's a
jumping
Wednesday.
bikes,
Yeah,
it's a
Wednesday.
weekend for us because we're not working during the week.
We jump shit here all the time.
That's what I'm saying.
But
That's
it's a
why
week, yeah.
It's probably a Wednesday.
Yeah, it's a Wednesday.
All right.
Cool.
All right. Turn that shit off.
All right.
Hey, if you like our podcast, notice that there was not one up on Friday. I got a bunch of emails from dudes like, "Hey,"
Why wasn't there?
because I told them intentionally not to put it up. I held the podcast to see how many people were going to send emails,
Huh.
and a lot of
So
people,
you're tricking them.
A lot of people emailed that I don't recognize from their names here. So if you want this podcast to keep going, like we keep saying we're ending it at 100, and everybody's like, no, please don't end it at 100. You better get some of your friends on here. Fucking, you like our podcast? Just tell somebody about it. If there's something in here that resonates with you, just take a look and see what time that's at, and tell your buddy, hey, listen to this podcast. Just skip to the 27-minute mark or whatever.
If you guys want, maybe because you're at 96 right now, 97.
Yeah.
All right. So there's a few left, and I may be here, may not be here the next couple days. If you guys comment on this one when it comes up,
Yeah.
if you want a car dedicated podcast on how to buy a car and how to do that,
Oh, they'll do that. They'll want
Yeah,
that.
all right, then.
Yeah, they'll want that.
But you got to put the comments now.
And if you can't buy our stuff, that's totally fine. You
Yep.
get it. If you don't have a use for our stuff, that's fine. If you shop on Amazon, support us in that manner. If you go to our website, soetacticalgear.com, scroll to the bottom or somewhere on that homepage is a link to Amazon. If you click that, it takes you straight to Amazon. Looks the same, tastes the same, smells the same. We can't see what kind of crazy sick shit you bought. We don't know who bought it or whatever, but we get like a percentage back out of that, and that's a way to support us on stuff that you're going to buy anyways. It downloads a cookie on your computer. I know, oh god, it's downloading something on my computer. Everything downloads a cookie in your computer now, because if you have
Hope
some
it's
program to
chocolate chip.
block it, none of your shit works. So I promise you're getting cookies anyways. It downloads a cookie that expires in 48 hours. So anything you buy from Amazon in the next 2 days, we get a little kickback off of, and that's just a way, if you like what we're doing, help support us in that manner. That's it. Right. Sonny's on his way in.
Probably him.
He might be here.